So let's take a look at the final battle scene from Kingdom of Heaven. This is the scene where the walls of Jerusalem are breached by Salah ad-Din's forces. And let's keep in mind that, film acts as a social commentary, or another good term would be a social document. It documents the fears, anxieties, political issues, things that we were, talking about at the time. Years later, we will look back at Kingdom of Heaven, and it'll clearly be seen as a post 9/11 film. This is director Ridley Scott, and he's the same guy who made Gladiator, which won Best Picture. And Gladiator is a pre 9/11 film, and it glorifies the violence. Russell Crowe as Maximus, famously says in the one of the combat scenes in the arena, "Are you not entertained?" Right, and there's still a commentary there on how, like the Romans, we are entertained by violence. In this movie, though, this is a film that does not glorify violence, and this battle scene in particular shows that it's not, even though it's carefully choreographed, we don't have any beautiful, duels or amazing scenes of swordplay. It's very graphic, it's very real, it's dirty, it's gritty. The color palette is interesting because these colors have been, kind of drained, almost like the life has been drained out of these people. This is a commentary on just how far down humanity can go. Here, these men don't even have weapons, and they're clawing at each other's faces with their bare hands, right? The question, even though there's no dialogue, is this what your God requires of you? So it's a scene that does not glorify war, and it's a film that does not glorify war. It's trying to make a more thoughtful commentary. This in particular is interesting, this aerial shot, because you see that they are crammed in so tightly that they can't even fight. And in the audio commentary, Ridley Scott said the inspiration for this visual right here was that a fisherman had shown him a can of maggots, and the maggots were wiggling around, and he said, "That's what I see here, is maggots eating the flesh of humanity." And then we get this slow dissolve here, and it's a little bit of time lapse, and then we find that everyone is dead. It's a very gray, very bleak scene. So we can talk about a scene like this that has no dialogue and ask ourselves, how does it reflect the film's argument? How does it reflect the film's position, or the director's position, or the writer's position on world events? And this movie in particular, and this scene in particular, it really has a way of doing that. The beauty of it are the visuals. We can't rely on the spoken word. We can't rely on dialogue. I like visual content because it's symbolic, and I remind you that not only do you get to describe the scene in your writing, but you get to interpret it, and you get to pick each element apart, such as the color, such as the choreography, the different, that aerial shot, for instance. All of this is relevant in your writing. So keep that in mind if you consider writing about this particular scene.